Hello and welcome. This week's featured Dragon Lord is PoseidonPQ. I will be introducing him shortly. I'm going to turn off my music and we will get rolling. Okay. Hello, Pepperoni. Hello, Dally. One second. All right. Hello, Poseidon. How did you discover War Dragons and what drew you to it?
I want to say that it was just popped up on, like, I was playing another game and it popped up, and I like dragons, I like fantasy, so I said, "Oh, what the hell?" And yeah, that was the beginning of my what is now a 4-year addiction, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's like I've always liked fantasy, D&D, that kind of thing. So
awesome. Tell me about your name, PoseidonPQ.
So I was in I was in a few guilds in the beginning, and then I don't remember if it was while I was in a guild called Latin Dragons, which I don't want to talk about them. But the group of people that I was with there, a quick shout out, even though they're on the other side. Valar Magulis was I was one of the people who helped start that up, and that group of people. One person in particular, she liked to have themed names, so we went through a few, and then one I think it was gods, and so I ended up with Poseidon because I like the water. And then shortly thereafter, I joined the creators faction, so I didn't bother changing my name after that because I thought it might get too confusing. But
right. So Poseidon forever, and then what's PQ? Do you prefer being called PQ?
I mean, it doesn't matter. PQ is actually my first and middle initials.
Oh,
so
awesome.
A lot of my friends call me PQ. A lot of family calls me PQ. So people in the game who don't want to write out Poseidon just put PQ. So it works.
Well, that's awesome. So when did you start playing War Dragons? Like, how long ago?
It was whatever season had. I want to say it was Tyrand and those. So I think it was winter of 17, although it could very easily have been the winter of 2016 too. I'm not 100% sure. But whatever that was, it's been a long time. It's been a real long time. I haven't played a single console. I've never played a game this long in my life. So, and for it to be a mobile game and play this long, it says a lot about the people that you play with.
I was gonna say, so what keeps you playing?
Definitely my team. So I've made some good friends there. And then honestly, being in the creators faction and having an outlet for me, an excuse for me to draw every week, that's just as much a part of it too.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about that. So how long have you been drawing? Like, your drawings are I don't know if people realize that you literally do make all that stuff from scratch.
Yeah, I've been drawing my whole life. In fact, when we recently moved in the fall, and Dolly said it was winter of 16, so it's been a year longer than I thought. So yeah, I when we moved, I found an old sketchbook of mine from when I was in junior high. I found some drawings that I did from when I played D&D. I drew all our characters. I found an old comic, but I drew a comic book and did like a self-printing, way back in the 90s. I feel so old saying that, back in the 90s. But so I've been doing it my whole life. So
that's awesome. So what team are you on and what league are you in?
I am on Rulith, which, if I'm not being biased, is the best team ever. No, I mean it is a fantastic team to be on, and I've been on them for years. We're in Diamond 2, and yeah, then there. I mean, once in a while we'll drop down to Sapphire, but for the most part we hang out in Diamond 2, and it's a pretty chill place.
With that, will you talk about how it's like being in Diamond 2?
I mean, I think with Diamond 2, people just kind of like, I mean, if you're in Diamond 2, chances are there's a real good chance that you want to just be in Diamond 2. So no one really, at least in my experience, there's not a whole lot of warring that goes on unless you don't want to be there, or unless, you're new to the league and we say, oh, we got to kick you back down. But I mean, for the most part, it's pretty chill. We don't have too many wars. PvP is fun. It's not, overbearing or overwhelming or anything like that. So yeah, I like it.
Awesome. So what types of dragons do you like to fly?
I like I like hunters, but I do like warriors too. I've always been like, when I play D&D or when I play any of the games that I play where you have a class, I'm always usually like the tank. So I like that aspect of warriors. But I mean, and I'm not the best hunter flyer, so maybe that's why I like warriors also. But yeah, hunters and warriors. Invokers, sometimes, I mean, I like, but then there's that time where you can't do anything and it's real annoying to me. And I hate sorcerers. I haven't found one in a long time that I like. I think the last sorcerer that I had that I liked was Faye. I still remember Pixel. I don't know if that was before your time, but
That was before my time.
She always said Faye is Bae.
Faye is Bae.
Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree with that statement. That was a fun sorcerer to fly.
I'll have to look up what Faye was. That sounds awesome. I used
Faye
to love
was
sorcerers.
basically a rainbow bunny rabbit.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So, over the course of your time playing War Dragons, what are your top 2 or 3 favorite dragons?
Oh, UVS. My favorite by far, because that was a warrior that actually took a little bit of skill to fly. It was different than typical warriors. I mean, it was fun. I loved UVS. Other than that, I think this is going way back. I really hated it when I had to retire Borgian, I think. Borgian. I don't know how to say his name, but it was a hunter. It was a seasonal hunter that was a lot of fun.
All right. So, what are some of your fondest, most favorite, memorable moments in War Dragons?
Well, I think one of my favorite moments was we had a war and literally came down to the last flight, and I think it was someone from the opposing team, and I think they quit early because they didn't get their full flames. But if they hadn't quit, we would have lost because they had done it. I might be misremembering that, but I just remember it was like a nail biter until the very end. If Forsyth were here, I know that she would know exactly which one I was talking about, because that girl has a mind like a steel trap. But yeah. So that was one. And then, see, there's lots of good memories.
Share them.
I mean, does it have to be in game, or because
no.
I mean we've got, I mean, the summits were great.
Yes.
So I mean, you got to do one of those.
Yeah,
so,
I'm hoping we get to do another one.
Yeah, and it'd be nice. Like the two prior to that were at PG, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
It would
so
have been nice.
See it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to do that. It was nice to meet people, although it was nice to have it where we had it so that we could just have everything right there.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. It was nice to meet people. But I definitely want to do another one so I can there were so many people there that I wanted to hang out with, and then it was over before you knew it. So
It's true. There's people that I'm even talking to now, and they're like, "We met at the summit," and I'm like, "Oh my god, I met so many people. I don't remember who you are."
well,
It was a lot of people.
Yeah, there was a ton of people. Dude, obviously, I met you, all the GPF, Dolly. She was awesome.
Kick
pretty
was
sure.
There.
Huh?
Kicking back.
Yeah.
I miss Kick.
Yeah, and think about all the people that aren't playing anymore.
I know, it's sad. But we have so many new people starting. We have all kinds of new friends starting the game.
Exactly. So, but I mean, other than that, I think just like every time there's like a new event, which we haven't had in forever, but
we're getting one.
We're getting one. We are getting one. I think Galileo posted that we'll see Crystal Caves sometime this season.
Yeah, he said maybe even in a few weeks.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. How
do you feel about Kingdom Wars retiring?
So happy about that.
I think we all are.
I mean, I liked the idea of that event, and there were so many things that they could have done to make it better. And I think I do give them credit. They were honestly trying, desperately trying to make that event work. And I don't think that it was entirely their fault. They're working with really old code, and I think it just didn't work out for them. But I'm glad that they finally pulled the plug on it. Like, they didn't keep trying to fit a square peg in a round hole.
Yes, agree. So, when you are not playing War Dragons, what do you like to do in your free time?
Well, I have 2 kids. Well, I have 3 kids, but 2 of them are at home, and one of them's almost 2. So free time is a foreign concept to me, generally speaking. But no, I do have time for myself. So I do obviously I draw in my free time, and then I also swim competitively. I mean, nothing big, just on a master's team. But so I'm at least a couple hours a day, I'm either in the pool or in the weight room trying to stay in shape, and hopefully soon we'll have meets here again soon. And so this year is the first year I actually got to help coach the high school team too. So that was nice.
That is awesome.
So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, other than that, just spending time with the family and whatnot. It's been a very, very busy and chaotic year for us with everything going on. So.
Right. A lot of challenges for a lot of people, I think, for all kinds of different reasons, but especially when everyone's home.
Yeah. Yep.
So what are some things that you wished you knew when you first started playing War Dragons?
I wish I knew that ballistas suck. And I wouldn't have built like 2 or 3 of them in the beginning. Luckily I got my self under control by the time. I mean, I think I started figuring out the base thing somewhere around level 40 or 50. So I was caught early with the don't build your base long. What do they say? Strong, not long, up, not out, or whatever.
Yeah.
The most current, catchphrase is. But that I wish I had found breeding paths earlier too, because I did a lot of Pokemon breeding early on.
Yep, same.
Yeah, in fact, when I went to Rulith, this was a fond memory because Red's like, I'm gonna take you in. And this was after the first summit. She was trying to get me to join the team, and I happily agreed. And then she's like, so where you're at with your dragons? And I told her, and she's like, okay, you need to stop building your base and focus on leveling on getting through your breeding. And I'm going to come up with a plan for you. And she did.
Oh.
So I got up and I got straight out. I mean, I think I was in my 180s and I had just gotten into Sapphire or something like that. So
Was Rulith in Diamond at that time? Like, has it
yeah,
always been in Diamond? That's amazing.
yeah. I'm sure they always, but ever since I've been there, they were in Diamond.
Well, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some changes that you've seen in the game over the years you've played?
Well, let's see. I mean, when I first started, we didn't have riders.
That's amazing.
They had perches, but I think the perches, if they hadn't started right before I joined, then they started shortly after, and I was still so new to the game that I didn't even like realize they had added it. Like I mean, when I first started playing, I didn't know anything about the streams. I didn't know anything about the seasons or anything like that. The leader who's in charge of VM now that that I used to be a part of. I mean, I will say this, he's a friend of mine. I talk to him outside of the game. We talk on the phone every now and again. And he and another, so he's the leader and then the co-leader. They both kind of help get me on the right path and help me figure out things in the game. And so yeah, so I was thankful that I had people that were looking out for me early on. So
Yeah. That's nice. That's nice. I think a lot of people don't get that, and I'm happy to have ones join us that are looking for help early on so that they can avoid making the mistakes that we all made.
yep, exactly.
So with newer players, and you like hunters and warriors, which I think again that is very interesting because they are so different, right? But hunters, I'm not the best hunter flyer. I have to really work at it to be good at a hunter dragon. But how would you suggest to people who are like intimidated or just not good at flying certain dragon types? What would you suggest for them to get better?
I mean, honestly, you just got to practice. I'm one of the best flyers I've ever known in the game. He doesn't play anymore, but his name was Lutris, and that boy was almost always out of potions from all his flight. He didn't get to be one of the best flyers in the game by just, doing a run here and there. I mean, he practiced over and over and over again. And that's really, I mean, it's just like anything else. You want to get good at it, you got to practice. So if there's a dragon out there you like, you want to make it work, you're going to have to practice to get it to be good. Except for some of the warriors. I do admit some of the warriors don't take a lot of skill. You just hold down the button and go. Or in the case of like Garnath, you can put it on auto and then just click the spells at the right times.
Nice. All right, let me think about this one. So with warriors, who would you friend, unfriend, and marry out of Quasar, Luzak, and Meglock?
Oh, let's see. So Quasar, I guess would. Okay, we're assuming. We're gonna assume that the gender's female.
Yeah.
So Quasar would definitely be Mary. God, it's a tough choice, and it's not a tough choice in the good way for the other two. You said Meglock?
Yeah, didn't people like Meglock? I didn't.
Yeah. I guess I'd friend Meglock, and the other one I wouldn't just unfriend. I'd unfriend and block, and
people like that one too, though, right?
yeah, it's trash. I mean, you can like it. I mean, if it's fun for invaders or easy base, I guess.
One of my friends loves it. Like, loves it.
Okay, well.
So I didn't think that was going to be that kind
Sorry. It's my opinion.
I don't have it, so I don't remember.
Are not representative of anyone else.
Okay, let's think of one for hunters.
Ooh. Let's see if you pick some of my favorites. Because then it would be tough.
So definitely How 2.0.
Okay.
Zool's probably too new to judge. Calivore, since that's recent. And we need one more. Noctarn.
Noctarn. Oh, ooh. Calivore. I think I do the Mary thing. This is tough. No, I guess it's not that tough. How-eyed friend, and as much as I like Noctarn, they have to unfriend it.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Dally wants us to do how Borgian and Necrix.
Oh. Oh. Ew. Well, see, now Borgian, I like I said, that was one of, but Necrix was my boy too. Oh. Dang it. I don't know. Now I mean, full disclosure, I was never like, because how I know is a fantastic dragon. For me, I flew How for like a week.
Oh my gosh.
Because that was the point where like Red's like, you need to be further along than where you're at. So I just kind of like shot by it. I think I went up 2 tiers in 2 breeding events. So by the time like How was even close to like viable, it wasn't viable for me anymore. Because I was never that person that could like, I wasn't that good. And I didn't have the patience to fly that thing as much as I would need to. So that was more knowing my own limitations. So How would be at the bottom. I gotta put Borgian on top just because that was the one that I was best with. But I love Necrix too. So but yeah. That was tough.
That was good, Dally. Thank you.
Yeah.
Overall, what has your War Dragons journey been like? I know you said you started on a different team and you've been on Ruleth a long time, but what's the journey been like?
Well, let's see. So it went from that whole like, oh wow, everything's new, everything's shiny, it's fantastic. This is an awesome game. And then I found some people, and then it was even better because then there were people that it was like, oh, I'm going to log on and hang out with so-and-so or talk to so-and-so. And then I think shortly after that, I found out about War Dragons drama. So
what? That doesn't exist. I'm sure if you've played a long time, I think everybody's had an opportunity to experience some.
Yeah. So there was that. And then, no, but I mean, it's been like a lot of fun. I mean, I've made some, I mean, you think about how long I've played and like how many, I don't know if you call them friends, but maybe you do. Like I said, there are some people I talk to even outside of the game. Like I'll just call on the phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And then other people, you see at the summits and you hang out with them and it's awesome to see them. But I mean, it's crazy because these people on your team, especially the ones that have been there a while, they know what's going on in your life. They know about kids and pets. You share all that stuff with them.
Yeah. So. That's a friend.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been pretty awesome. No, I was just gonna say it's been awesome. I mean, to play a mobile game for 4 years, there has to be a lot of redeeming qualities about the game. Say what you will about, the state of the game itself. I mean, if the game was that bad, friends or no friends, people would be walking away from it. And I know some are, but I think, it's a testament to the, the community, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And I think that's normal, right? Like people play games for a few years and some people are just ready for a change, even in general, just from playing the same game for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to pull up your base.
Sure.
And let's talk about it for a minute. You have a lot of 117 towers, so good for you. Will you talk to me and chat a little bit about your thinking on your base layout?
Well, I just recently changed it. Like in the past, I think it was either the last fort or it was the last fort because I finally got those lightning towers maxed. That was one tower for whatever reason I like hadn't built them, or I did build them and then I transformed them into something else because I don't know why. Um, but then I decided I want them. So it's shifted. So it's that I don't know. I always get confused about the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So island 6 used to be like my kill island, so to speak. But so I got the lightning towers in the back, and even though when I switched things around, my defensive power went down a little bit, but having those lightning towers back there has been awesome. We call them bug zappers. Uh,
Nice.
and then I don't know. I'm obviously you got the Howie in the back and the Crystal Ori. I'm trying to decide if I want to swap the position of those two. Um, the Ori's not um, hitting as early as I'd like, but I'd like it to kind of like pull you through the base a little bit quicker, a little bit sooner. So I'm still trying to figure that out. And then the rest is just whatever towers were left from shifting things around. So I'm definitely going to transform one of those Dracul pylons probably into my second howitzer. That's the next fort event. But yeah, take that base with Ember.
Ah!
Oh man. Oh, remember the days of Ember. But yeah, I mean, I and I have like nothing in storage except for totems, and that's it. So what you see is what you get.
Awesome. I'm about to build an array. I haven't built one yet. But I did do the whole branch last season. I just needed to use the Electrum bars on my Howie, so I didn't have them for the array. So I'll be
It's
figuring
a
out.
great.
It's amazing. I want it. And I do have all the charges for it. I just need to build it. So I'll be having fun figuring that out as well. So yeah, thanks for your input on thinking like it should be pulling people forward a little bit sooner. And then also, I think it's funny about the lightning towers that you said you finally have some. I was so resistant to lightning towers for like forever until I got dragons that would dodge everything except for lightning. And then I kind of understood the idea of them. I don't have any pylons. I have one in storage, but it's a baby and I haven't worked on it. I don't know where I would put it. I don't have quite as long of a layout as you. I'm not at endgame, right? So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
But
mean
it
it's a good beam tower because people don't really like take it too seriously. Um, but it's one of the stronger beam towers, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but yeah, I have two of them, and I don't think I need to, which is why I'm gonna make one into a howitzer.
nice,
So
nice. Where are you gonna put that next, Howie?
that'll probably be chilling in back with my farms.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
hopefully, last ditch effort to try and kill the dragon before it five flames my base.
Awesome. Let's see. So, how did you get so knowledgeable with everything in the game?
Because I had lots of other smart people around me. I mean, if you wanted knowledge about the game, then Rulith was probably one of the best teams to be on back when you had Red for her breeding paths, Mech for basically anything that Mech did. Foresight. I mean, that was really. I mean, any information you needed, we had people who were really really good at like figuring things out. So, um, yeah, I mean, as far as the like even like Lutris even ran like a little hunter flying challenge thing for a while. So yeah, I mean, I can't take credit for anything. I had lots of smart people around me and knew who to go to if I had a question.
That's awesome. What would you say are your current goals in War Dragons?
Well, I want to hit 600. I'm close. So that's my next goal. I don't know if I've ever had a 2 mythic season. Just out of, I don't know why, but maybe I'll do it this season. We'll see.
Oh, wow. Do you love both mythics this season?
I do. It's a warrior and a hunter. Zool is a lot of fun, but Zool's going to take some skill, like lots of skill.
Yeah, I've not mastered it yet.
And then, I mean, you can't go wrong with warriors because at the very least, like if you're going for, even if you don't like most of the dragons, you get them. And if there's a mythic warrior, you get it just because at least you can use it after the fact because you can always perch it.
Right. I think I want this one for my perch.
Yeah. Like right now, I've got UVS and Lockjaw on my perches. Lockjaw is a lot of fun too. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, this might be the season I get two. Who knows?
Nice. Let's talk about, I want to talk about your experience making art and like what that process is like and how long it takes you to like do a movie poster or something like that. And yeah, just the process as far as like, where do you get your idea for that week? Right? I don't know. I want to know about all of it.
So the last, I think I started with, no, maybe it was before that, but I think I really started trying to do an entire or most of a season, like kind of following the theme of whatever the season was. Like Eclipse, we had, so I tried to kind of do like the space, theme as much as I could, or space sci-fi. This one might be a little bit tougher because it's like heaven and hell or celestial or stuff like that. Not a whole lot of movies about that. So I already kind of broke the mold with this week's poster. But the poster itself felt like the theme of the season. But so yeah, when I try and do a poster, or when I do a poster, first I try and get an idea as to like, am I going to try and keep with the theme, or am I going to keep with the season theme, or is it going to be something that I can make the event work with? Eventually I'll find one that I like, or two. And then, believe it or not, sometimes I get lucky, but usually I spend about an hour and a half trying to track down a font that matches the title font. Like sometimes someone will have made it, but if I pick like a more obscure movie poster or an older one, sometimes they don't have the font. So I have to figure out how the hell to get the font for what I want. So that takes some time.
So minimum of an hour and a half just to find the font you want.
Oh, yeah. I'd say the average time for a poster is probably between 10 and 15 hours. But there have been some that I've spent probably closer to 20 or 25 on.
What ones are those?
The 101 Dalmatians one.
Okay.
Took a while because of all the little Dalmatians I had to turn into dragons. And I had to try and put little Easter, because I forget which that was. I forget which one that was, but there was some new dragons coming out. So I put like and they hadn't been announced yet, but I put like the Disney-fied baby version of them in there, and I don't think anyone noticed, so that was good. I'm trying to think of. I'm gonna look real quick. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna go to my DeviantArt page, which is where they are. Because I know there are some that I like spent a long time on. And sometimes it's the more detailed ones, but it's not always. All right. So see. So the Dragon Baby one that I did, that was with Danav as like the Boss Baby poster.
Yeah.
That one actually took a little bit. The Kingdom Wars poster that was like an Aladdin one.
Yes, I love that one.
That one had a lot of layers to it. A lot of layers. The one I did for um, Arlena before she left, the Mulan Team Gauntlet one.
Yeah.
That one took a
Took a
little bit.
while.
Any of the Marvel ones, I typically spent a bit of extra time on. So like the Avengers style one. I forget if it had to have been the Endgame poster. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. So yeah, those are probably some of the ones I spent more time on.
Here's pulling up some of them from your Twitter. Dragon Baby.
Oh, and any of the Lego ones were a huge pain in the butt. I don't know why I ever chose to do the Lego movie
I would
one.
think that they wouldn't be as hard, but I guess maybe a lot of details.
Oh well, if you if you pulled up either they were both Ford events, and
Oh
they
my
were pretty
gosh.
old.
Here's
But
here's the 101 Dragons.
War Dragons, I forgot about those. I haven't done those in a long time. But like the Lego ones took forever because of the title. Because there was no font for that. So I had to hand draw those Lego things. And that was a huge pain in the butt. Yeah, Dolly, I hear you. I need to do some more Woe Dragons.
More Woe Dragons?
Yep.
Oh, here's the Aladdin one. This one is super good. I mean, they're all super good. But obviously, I love the ones that you do that are like things that I love, right? So, like when you did the Labyrinth one, I was like, oh my God!
And that one came out good. I loved that one.
I have a Labyrinth poster like on my wall, literally, like right above me.
And then, believe it or not, one of my favorite ones is the one that's that and what was the other one? The Enter the Dragon, the Bruce Lee poster.
Yeah.
That was a fun one.
You love that one?
Yep. I don't know. Once in a while, I like doing the older ones just because some of them are out there.
Oh, talk about the quest.
Oh. Well, they just finished filming the second season.
Are you going to watch it?
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Talk about it. Probably not everybody knows what it is. What is the quest?
So the Quest was a reality show that was on ABC back in 2015. Yeah, 2015 is when it came out. So the summer of 2015. And it filmed in Austria at an actual castle that was the castle itself was built. It was like 500 or 600 years old, but it got destroyed or close to destroyed, not quite destroyed. But then it was rebuilt, and whoever funded the rebuilding said that it couldn't be rebuilt with anything that was newer than when the castle was built. So some of the stuff that ended up going in there was over 1,000 years old. But anyway, so the show was like Survivor meets Lord of the Rings. So it was like a live action role playing game.
Cool.
With challenges and people going home and whatnot. It was a fun experience.
How did you like apply for this? Do you like live where the casting was happening? Like what's
So I remember this very vividly. So it was Sunday night. We were sitting at home, and I was on Facebook, and I saw this thing pop up. It was like just a post and said, "Hey, do you like Lord of the Rings? Are you into fantasy? Blah blah blah. We're developing a new fantasy reality show, and if you want to be considered, send this information to this email." So it took 5 minutes, and I didn't think much of it. I just sent it in, and then that was on a Sunday night. Like I said, for some reason, I remember this vividly. And then I got home from work on Monday, the very next day, and I was home 5 minutes, and my phone rings, and it says it's a Los Angeles number. And my gut just said, yeah, that's them calling. So I answered, and sure enough, it was them. So I did a quick, 15-minute phone interview. And then they said, well, I like what I've heard so far. Can you do it like a half hour worth of a Skype interview? So sure. So I did that. They liked what they saw. So then they scheduled an in-person interview for later the next week, or maybe it was the same week, but it was like midweek, and I had to go to a hotel. They said, bring some props that kind of like show a little bit about who you are. And
Oh my gosh, what kind of props did you bring?
so I brought my, so I'm a big Star Wars nerd.
Awesome.
So I build my own costumes and whatnot. So I had a Darth Vader helmet, a Stormtrooper helmet, and I think I might have brought one of my lightsabers too. So yeah, so I went up to, they call you up to this hotel room, and you stand there, and they sit behind a camera and ask you questions, and they tape your answers.
Do you remember any of the things they like asked you?
I mean, it was just a full like, what do you like about fantasy? What are some of the hardest things that have happened to you? And it was a full range of questions, from everything related to the show to personal. I think they kind of wanted to get an idea as to how much you were willing to open up for them, that kind of thing.
Did you like let it all out then, or like?
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much don't have a filter, so I was just like, oh yeah, so this happened to me as a kid, and this, that, and the other thing, and so yeah. And then they said, well, we're going to ask you, do us a favor, make a little video with you and your family and whatnot, and send it in to us, and send us these pictures of you, of this, that, and the other thing. So I did, and then it was just a waiting game. And about a month and a half later, they said, do you have your passport? Because if not, you should put you're in our final, so you've made all the cuts so far. So you want to start thinking about getting a passport just in case you get picked. And when they called, I happened to be at the post office getting the passport already. So.
Perfect.
And then in July, they said, all right, so we're going to fly you and 23 others to LA. We'll put you up in a hotel for a few days, and basically you're going to be confined to your hotel room, and then we'll call you out to ask you questions. You're going to have to take a drug test. You're going to have to take a personality and an IQ test. You're going to have to do some fittings. You're going to have to do some interviews. So we did all that, took the tests. You had to get interviewed by the producers and the showrunners. So you walk in the room, there's like 20 some odd people there.
Oh.
So yeah, and then they say, well, we'll be in touch either way. And then 2 days after that, they said, well, I got bad news for you. You're not gonna be able to see your family for a month.
Oh my gosh.
So they sent people out to the house to do some like promo filming, and then said, all right, be at the airport at this day and this time. Your flight's going to be at this time. We're not telling you where you're going. Just so you know, when you get there, as soon as you step off the plane, we'll be taking your phone, and that'll be that. So
you didn't even get to like call your family? Like no contact?
Nope. When my wife dropped me off at the airport, and that was the last I saw of her until I talked to her until I got home.
Wow.
And it was a month. It was, so like, even when you, like, literally as soon as I got off the plane and got your baggage, they had someone get your baggage, and they took your phone, brought you to the hotel room, because we didn't go to the castle right away, because we had to do some promo stuff there too. So they locked us in a hotel room. The hotel room TV was gone, and the phone was gone. And
so I had no contact with the outside world.
No, like you were basically locked in your hotel room, except for if they needed you for, their stuff, or they also let you out for an hour to go exercise or swim or walk around.
Whoa.
Because they didn't want you interacting with the other contestants until it was time. So.
Wow.
So yeah, that was fun.
That sounds like a crazy one.
I read the Bible twice because there was nothing else to read. There was no TV to watch.
Oh my gosh.
Because I'm religious, just because there was literally nothing else to do.
Oh my gosh. Did you draw?
When I finally asked them for, like, I had I had the little notebook and the
Yeah.
pen that the hotel provides, but that was it. So,
Well,
yeah.
that's nice.
And then once we got into the castle, then that was it. It was crazy. I mean, it was very eye opening about reality television, though. So there's a lot of downtime in
I
reality.
haven't watched it, so I think I actually want to watch it.
It's fun. It is fun,
So
and it's not reality TV. It's
so
not
it's like Survivor as far as like, do people vote each other off? Like, how did that work?
So that was it was. I mean, it was in essence, it was that. Like, so there was a storyline. They had improv actors that had like a skeleton script that they had to follow, and then we interacted with them. So they had to. I mean, that's why they had to be improv actors, because they were trying to move this story forward, but they had to react in a somewhat realistic manner to the. However, with us, we didn't have a script. We were just interacting with them. So all the interactions you see are genuine, but so there was a plot to it, and then they had challenges that kind of like helped move the plot forward. And if you were in the if you performed worst in the challenge, then you had to go see what were the fates. And there were 3 ladies. And actually one of them has, so you know how they have that, like, have you ever played or heard of the like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon? I think that's what it is. You know what
Maybe explain.
So it's like you pick an actor and you find out how many degrees away from Kevin Bacon they are. Like
Okay.
like so and so was in a movie with this person, who was in a movie with this person, who was in a movie with Kevin Bacon. So one of the fates. So I'm 1 degree of separation from Marvel movies and from Star Wars movies. 2 degrees for Star Wars, because one of the fates has been in a few Marvel movies. She was one of the guards for one of the female guards in Wakanda. So nice. She was in Civil War, and she was obviously in Black Panther. And then, so since she was with what's his face, who does Gollum's voice, Andy Serkis. Since he was in that, then I'm tied to the Star Wars movies now too, because he was in those. So yeah, fun fact. But anyway, so if you got there was a second challenge with the fates, and the top performer from that was safe, and then the other 2 or 3, as was the case one time, you didn't vote against someone so much as you voted for someone. So like you had to go and stand behind the person that you wanted to stay.
Oh, so you're voting. You are voting. You're not voting for someone.
Right. So I mean, and the other thing is, it's not anonymous. So like they turn around and they see, like, oh, those people are overstanding behind someone else.
Oh. So. How long did you make it on the show? Like, how far did you go?
I will. Since you haven't seen it, I'll just say I was in every episode.
Oh. Okay. And then, like, what is something like super crazy about that whole thing? And then what's something like super cool about that whole thing?
Super crazy.
Yeah, it's something that like we would never think of.
So because we were in what was essentially a historical landmark, a castle that was over 500 years old, they didn't have indoor plumbing. So, and because it was a landmark, you couldn't put like that stuff in the castle proper. So if you had to use a bathroom, we were on the top floor. You had to get one of the security to walk you to the bathroom, to a porta potty, and then stand out there until you were done, and then they'd walk you back. And then the showers, they were a semi-trailer basically with 6 shower stalls in them, and then a giant tank that they had to remember, hopefully, to turn on so that the water would be hot. And they just took like, it was 7 girls and 5 guys, and it was, all right, first 6 people awake, you're going to take a shower, go. Next 6 people, you're next. They didn't bother trying to like separate by any of that. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, the shower stalls had like the curtains and everything, but still, accidents happen.
TMI, I have a small bladder. Those security people would hate me. I gotta go again. Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, and then what was something like cool that you like loved that you took away or that you could share with us?
So, we actually had to get trained in like sword combat. So we were using like real steel weapons. They didn't have an edge. But after we had our first practice, the fight, the person who was doing the filming said we need to get Patrick a bigger weapon because the sword that he looks too tiny in his hands. So one of the guys and they do like actual, like they wear full steel plate and swords, and they actually have like, it's called I think over there they call it historic medieval battle, and then over here they call it just armored combat, and it's like full on steel weapons, steel armor. You're beating the crap out of each other. Anyway, so these guys were the Austrian team, and one of them said, I've got a two-handed sword. He can use that. So I used that. I was the only one who had a two-handed sword. And then once filming was all over, ABC owned all the costumes and the swords and everything. But he came over to me. He's like, you know what? This is my sword, not theirs. So I'm going to make sure I get this in your hands. And sure enough, about 2 months after we were done filming, this big old sword arrived in the mail.
What?
The exact one that I used. So.
And he just gave you his sword? Like, I've got plenty of these in the closet. I don't need this one.
Basically. I mean, he's like, you earned it. You earned it. So.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yep. And then they did end up letting us, they sent us our costumes or armor or whatever you want to call it. So I have that sitting in a closet upstairs.
That's awesome. Do you have your sword mounted somewhere?
No, it's sitting over on the other side of the basement right now until we finish the basement and I can mount it.
Then you can mount it. Will that be like your man cave?
Yes.
Yes. Awesome.
So, but yeah, it was a hell of an experience.
That is so cool. Thank you for sharing that with us.
No problem.
Only because I love this one, I'm going to make everybody look. It's the Labyrinth Poster! Back in the time of, maybe Axie? Is that when you made that? Or does that just happen to be something you put on it?
It could just be because I like Axie.
Yeah, I like Axie a lot. I want them to resurrect Axie. I will totally do that if they do it.
This had to have been the season with UVS, I think. Oh wait, I don't know.
Right? Like, what's the before my time? But the dragon with the white and the pink. What's that one with the unicorn horns? But it's not a unicorn.
Weird. That was a Valentine's Day dragon.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know when this was, but I remember this poster. Love it.
Yeah. I have to look at when I put it out.
So what do you think, what is like something that you don't necessarily love about the game right now, but also like you don't love it, but like you think a solution for what you don't love about it is what? Or do you just love the game and there's nothing you don't love?
No, I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with Atlas.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things. I know they're trying to figure out a way to fix Atlas, but it's just, I think the problem with that is what needs fixing isn't something that PG can necessarily fix easily. Like the whole mega alliances and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like lag, obviously, that's a given. Like I'm trying to stay away from like the obvious ones, like lag. Like hopefully they can work out. But yeah, I don't know. I think some of the best things about the game is the community, and I also think that some of the worst things of the game come from the community, if that makes sense. Like I'm not criticizing the community at all, but like these, and part of it is that PG put the mechanics there to allow for that, and you really can't take it away now.
Right.
So I don't know.
I'd say for more attacking, what I would want for me to do more attacking would be being able to build troops faster and have a bigger capacity for my hospital. Then I would probably attack a lot more.
Yeah. Wars needs some reworking too.
Well, if people aren't warring, yeah, I would say so.
But I mean, who wants to stay up all night to defend your base? No one.
That is true. So that could be like what, like an attack phase and then like a non-attacking phase, right? And like during these hours is attack phases and during these hours is not? Or what do you think?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, and I'm sure that's something that's been tossed around. But then because it is a worldwide game, and it's not like we've got like servers in Asia or Europe and then servers in Americas. So you risk alienating, a portion of your player base. So I don't know. I don't know
I
what to
don't
say.
know. I don't know. Okay, so what are some things that you love about the game and some changes that they have made? Because they have made some really great changes in the last little while.
Something I love about the game, and it's completely unrelated to any of the like gameplay, is like their art team kills it every time. I mean, I can only think of a handful of things that the art team's done that I'm just like, eh. But overall, I mean, the art is fantastic. And they have gotten better with, like, it is nice to see another event coming out. Um, and I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of like kind of like intangible things that have gotten better, like that you can't necessarily put your finger on. Um, the game just feels like it's in a better place. And some of the things that like I remember when they first changed the UI, there was a lot of like pushback against that. But then I look at old screenshots and I see the old UI and I'm like, okay, yeah, it did need an update. But I don't know. I am curious to see how long they're going to be able to persist, or if they're ever going to just cave and do like some kind of War Dragons 2 or something.
Never know. What, just to like redo things, start fresh?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you do that.
I
And
don't know
I'm
how you
not.
do that either. I mean,
I don't.
like PC and console games do that, right? But
But you don't have people that spent literally hundreds of thousands of dollars on a game and then just be like, oh yeah, we're going to come out with part 2. So I don't
I
know how you do
mean, there are games that do that on PC.
that.
So like one of the games I play, I'll just bring it up. Guild Wars. I play Guild Wars 2. There is still a very alive Guild Wars 1, right? That like the devs don't put a lot of work into, but people still play it. And like
I played that game. I
yeah.
remember that.
So they did make a second one, that now has whatever hundreds of thousands, millions, whatever players they have now. So like I think it can be done. I'm not suggesting they do that. Don't take my dragons away from me. But yeah, right? Like I love my dragons and I love my base and I have worked really hard for it. So I think that would be really I think we'd all riot, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how you do that. I wouldn't want to be the guy that had to make that decision if they were. I don't even think they're going that way, but
No.
just.
I think it's hard with the whole Atlas thing. I think it's hard because like nothing's going to make everybody happy, right? And then we do have the forums where the people that are mad are going to be the loudest.
You don't have to tell me. I wish I could show you my screen. After school, I decided to hop on the forums, and when people flag, as a moderator, you see a little red dot with a number in it, and it was like, I think there was like 14 or something, 20 flags, and I've seen that a lot higher. And oh man! So if you've ever been someone I've approved your flag, and there's been a lot, there's a chance that I just kept clicking accept just to clear them out. Or if it's from the same person and they have a bad track record, I just hit ignore, and maybe they did have a legitimate one. I don't know, but doesn't happen a lot, but it happens.
So you are a mod on the forums, is right?
Yep.
How long have you been a mod on the forums, and how is that?
How long have I been a mod? God, that might be going on 2 years too.
Nice.
Wow. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I do my best. I think I'm pretty good, and I think being a teacher helps, but I think I'm pretty good at staying neutral for the most part. I know that there are some um, members of the forums who may not be on the forums anymore who feel like I was out to get them or I hated them or whatnot. And I've never been out to get any. I'm not going to say that there aren't people that I can't stand, because that is the case. Not so much anymore. I think most of those people are gone, but yeah. I don't know. Being a moderator is hard sometimes, because sometimes it is really hard to just not be like, oh, I just want to shut you up, but I got to be fair and I got to be neutral. And but yeah.
That's probably super hard. I don't envy you.
The mods work hard.
But I applaud you, yes.
Every person who's a moderator works their ass off.
Absolutely. I could see that for sure. Do you guys have questions? Let's open it up to chat. You guys have some questions? Let's have it. And while we wait for further questions, do you have anything else you want to share?
Not that I can think. Oh, Angela's here. Yay, Angela. Ange, my Chicago teammate. One of the Chicago teammates. Sorry if you didn't want me to put that out there.
Too late now.
Too late. That's okay.
Yeah, Goddess, you were on Ruleth for a minute, right? Goddess is here. She used to be on Ruleth, I think, for a little bit. Her game name was Dragon Goddess. No, maybe
it sounds familiar, but again, it's like so many people come and go.
Yeah.
Like you could list off people, and like you could give me a list of 100 names and say 50 of these people are on your team. I probably wouldn't be able to give you all 50. The majority of them I would, but I probably wouldn't be able to give all 50. And that's horrible, I know.
Pep says, how much for Laika to get a custom Axie poster? Do you sell art?
I do. Oh, yeah, I forgot I have a Redbubble store. It hasn't been used in a while. I should upload some new stuff.
Yeah, give us a link.
Let me see.
You can just type it into chat if you have it up.
Someone bought something there like a few months ago, and all of a sudden this money showed up in my account. I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, crap. I don't even remember. Oh, you know what? Let's pull it up. I wonder if it's on my phone. Yeah, I need to. Dolly probably has the link.
Dolly, if you have the link, will you post it?
Because I'm pretty sure she. Let's see. Me. There we go. Me. Oh, look at that. It's called Poseidon's Easel.
That's nice.
Oh, so it's like you can get some of my artwork on stuff. But yes, I could. I wonder if I've done it. I don't know if I've done a thing of Axie. I'd have to do. Axie would be a fun one to do. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's see. Is this? Oh, yes. Here we go. Okay. I think I got it. Now I just got to find my Twitch app. There we go. Click on my face. There. It's a long ass link, but oh wait, I have to follow.
Ah!
Sorry, I don't use Twitch. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But that's horrible. I come on here. I feel bad, but I didn't know, to be fair. So yeah, that's the link.
Okay, I'm gonna save it.
Yeah, I need to update that with some of my newer stuff, because the last thing I had was. Well, it does. It's got Baby Red. That's in there. Baby Redrian. It's got the 101 Dalmatians one. So if there's ever anything that someone, like if there's a poster or something that someone wants me to add to that, or any particular piece of art, all they need to do is email me. I can just add it right up there.
Awesome. Oh, Beetlejuice, that one was good too. I like that one also.
Oh yeah, I did like that one. That was fun.
Okay, so a couple questions. Save that link, you guys, and then follow him on Twitter if you do not. Dally asked, if you could design a dragon, what would it be?
That's because I did draw that one, the Demo Dragon that was based off of, it was inspired by, not based off of, it was inspired by Stranger Things. And I thought that'd be a fun one. If I had to do another one.
Which one did you say you did?
It was called a Demo Dragon. Demo Dragon. Yeah, I can hear, you know, I can.
Is it in the game?
No, no. I've only got portraits in the game. I don't have.
Okay.
It's yeah, no, they've never. I don't know if that's like a legal thing. Like, since I don't work for PG,
right.
And they haven't done a design a dragon contest since
a long time.
Yeah. So I don't know. Here, I can show you the one. I can put the link in chat if I can do that. And then there are a couple dragons that people commissioned me to do. Those are fun. Some of these posters you forget that you did.
You've done so many.
Yeah, I'm like, oh wow, I forgot about that one. I really liked it. Like, I don't know why, but the one that's like a James Bond poster and it's got Lorenzo kind of chilling out, laying on his side. For some reason, I really liked that one. That was a weird one though.
Do you have one that was your favorite? I know a little while ago we talked about many that you liked, but do you have a favorite?
My favorite is whichever one I'm working on at that time. Whatever I happen to. I mean, there are some that I look back on. I'm like, yeah, it's not like I like the Christmas Vacation one.
Oh my gosh, the recent Christmas one with Galileo was hilarious.
Oh, the elf one, yeah,
yes.
That was. How do I get the link for this? But yeah, that one. I mean, I sometimes I like just having fun with them. Like the Beetlejuice one, like you said, that was a lot of fun.
It was so good.
And I honestly don't know when I started with the puns. I have no idea when that started.
Are you just naturally good at puns?
Well, I'm a dad, so it kind of helps. And my father was like, he was the king of puns. He still is. So here, this is the dragon that I drew. But yeah, I mean, my brothers and I, you should see some of our text messages because sometimes we'll just sit there for a couple hours going back and forth, and my sisters will look at this and be like, what the hell? What's wrong with you guys? Because we live all over. Like, I've got a brother who lives in Alaska, another brother who lives in Baltimore, my own one sister lives in Michigan, and my other sister lives in Kansas City. So we're all over the place. But we're all brought together by puns. So.
Love it. I'm not quick with stuff like that. And sometimes I say puns and I don't realize it until like either somebody points it out or I'm like, wait a minute, what did I just say?
Yeah, that was an original dragon that I did.
That is awesome. It totally looks like the Demogorgon or whatever from Stranger Things.
Yeah, it was fun. And I think the first thing I ever drew for War Dragons was actually what's it? Abraxas. Because I thought that it looked like the Balrog from Lord of the Rings. And I thought that was cool because I love Lord of the Rings.
I'm going to show the portraits you did in case anyone here hasn't seen them. You did GPF and CF. Did you do any others?
Dread.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And the GPF ones, those are the first ones that went in like unaltered. So I was especially proud of those. Because before they had to have their artists redraw them for whatever and change like a couple things, I think, just to make sure that it wasn't anything I could ever come after them for.
Interesting.
So, not that I ever would, because it's cool to just be able to see my stuff in game.
Right.
So that's the one portrait I drew that I don't own. I don't have for my guy.
Right.
I would have to leave my team and switch to Dread. And what I don't know if Dread would take me into, I wouldn't leave my team anyway. So
here is female GPF. What inspired you on this portrait?
Which one?
Inspiration. The female GPF.
So originally that was gonna be a well, first of all, I wanted to do something that like, and I don't know if you can really tell from in game, but like if you look closely at her face, she's kind of scarred and whatnot.
I have it on my monitor, so it's huge.
So I wanted something that like kind of like broke the mold a little bit, but like it wasn't a stereotypical like female portrait where they're scantily clad and and they're all pretty and they like wearing freaking makeup. I wanted it to be something a little more gritty and a little bit more true to like what it would actually be. And then I had to make sure that there was green in there, otherwise I'd never get foresight to use it.
That's why that's green. That's awesome.
Yep. So the green is definitely 100% for foresight. And then I wanted something that I thought would be like kind of like different. So it was partially inspired by some of like the hairstyle. Like the hairstyle was partially inspired by some of the women on that show Vikings.
Yeah, I was about to say this totally looks like a Viking like warrior.
Yeah, and then the outfit is kind of like a conglomeration of different things that I seen and used for reference. So
awesome. And then talk to me about hot dog, which I know you didn't name.
No, that was all Galileo because I couldn't come up with any names for these. I think we just we're so sick of like there's only so much you can do with a humanoid. So we're like, all right, so we'll do like a half dragon, half man kind of thing because that's unique. So that's just what we did with it. That's what I decided to do with that. And then I decided to give him a big ass flaming sword.
I love it. Yeah, some people are super jealous that this portrait is that awesome. I know people that are like, oh, I want that portrait so bad.
But yeah, wanted something badass and different.
Well, it is definitely badass and different for sure. Let's go to where? We're gonna go to CF as soon as I find them. Okay, talk to me about male CF and inspiration.
So the male CF armor was inspired by my character from D&D. That my buddy, he ran a game, and that's kind of like what I somewhat envisioned his armor looking like. The hammer was more of a homage to Robert Baratheon from Game of Thrones. And then I didn't feel like doing like a helmet, but I wanted to kind of like do something to like kind of cloak the face a little bit, so that's why I threw the hood on there.
But yeah, I mean, spikes on the face. What's going on?
Yeah, he's got like not quite as much as a female GPF, but again, kind of like a little bit of like some draconian features on it. They're a little more apparent on the one that I drew.
Gotcha.
Not the one that they kind of went over and changed, like I said, changed a few things.
All right. Well, the female CF, I have not changed since I put it on.
Yeah, and that's
obsessed with it.
I love how that one came out.
Talk to me about, yeah, again, inspiration and like how you came up with all this.
So again, so this is kind of like helped inspire the male CF is because, I'm like, oh, we don't really have like these half dragon figures. And I had already had something in mind for the male creator. And then, so for the female, I'm like, all right, so she's going to be like, half dragon. Um, and then the armor went through some iterations. It was a little bit too colorful the first time I did it. It was more like iridescent. So there were lots of like purples and greens and kind of like whatnot shimmering in there. And then I took all the color out of it and just to see how it would look. And that's how I decided on that because it looked better in my opinion. Plus, Red had pointed out that with the red hair and all the other colors made her look like a Skittle.
Oh my gosh.
So, and then just wanted something that would be fun to animate. So that's where the fire came from.
Awesome. Yeah, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Pep wants to know, would you ever do an Aurora remix poster or portrait or any other existing portrait?
Oh,
he
definitely.
is obsessed with the Aurora, the original one. The one that they did for Women's Day was my portrait for forever till I got the creator. But he loves the Aurora portrait. So
yeah, Galileo had kind of like off the cuff mentioned once. After he pushed this last one through, he had made a comment. So like, don't go hound him about it too much. But he had said, maybe we'll have you draw something that would be like a contest prize or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, nothing's off the table. And if they ever asked me to do one, then I would. So, it's fun. It's fun to put my stuff in there.
Do you have a favorite in-game portrait?
Aside from the ones that I've drawn?
Yeah, like what were like when you first started the game, did you have like a favorite portrait? I would imagine you didn't come in drawing them, or did you come in immediately and were like, this is what
No, no, not at all. Scroll up a little bit. I'd know it if I saw it. I don't know the name of it. It was like a really basic one. The guy's, it's kind of like a side of I want to say it might be spiculous. It's like way up, one of the first ones you get. It's like everyone has it.
Oh, spiculous, yeah. With the helmet with the stuff on it, with the spear.
Yeah. I don't know why. That one I liked for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, he looks cool. He looks like a gladiator.
Yeah. And I think that's probably why. Yep, that's the one.
Awesome.
So that was what I used for a long time. And then I'd get the seasonal ones when if they're anything worth having. So
do you remember what your first animated portrait you unlocked was?
I'm gonna go look now.
Mine was this one. This was the season I first started, and this was my first unlocked moving. So I wore it for a long time. Vex, the giveaway was yesterday. I shared it in my Discord. I shared it on my Instagram. I shared it on my Twitter.
Oh, you know what? I think I know. No, it wasn't that. Definitely wasn't that. But it was, hold on, it was right after that. It was the Archmage Knight.
Archmage Knight. I definitely probably don't have that unlocked. Let's see. Scientist, advisor.
And I think I got that dragon line specifically for that portrait.
This one? Is that Archmage Knight? Yeah. So for this guy.
I'm trying to see.
He's got like rocks kind of moving around him with like
yep.
purple power coming out of his like arms.
Yep, that's the one.
Cool.
That was my first.
Yeah. Awesome portraits definitely make me go for lines, that's for sure.
Yeah, branches are like,
Venus is like my new favorite, but I still haven't put it on.
Venus is really cool. I like Venus.
Venus was really cool.
Wait, have I ever done? I don't know if I've ever done it. She'd be a fun one to add, like throw into even though the season's over.
Right.
I should have done like Guardians of the Galaxy or something. She would have fit in.
Oh, yes. It's okay. You
I
can
might
still
have-
do it.
Yeah, I might have to still do it just for hell of it. Because that would be fun.
All right, you guys, do you have any more questions? Or is there anything else you want to share?
I can't think of it. It would have been fun.
Yeah.
No one else has any questions.
I know. So quiet.
It is quiet.
Everybody's opening chests.
I still got to go finish doing that.
Oh my gosh. I'm almost done with my second discount. I've never done both discounts before, and I'm actually really close to finishing it. Yeah, I've just like, I don't know. I've been like not I always do the discount dragon. And then like I just get worried that I'm not going to have enough to do the other things I want if I do base boost 2. So now I'm doing base boost 2.
Oh, Angie asked a question. Although we kind of went over it. Although, you know what? Angie, you know what? I had said that that war that we did that came down to like the last run that the other team did and then screwed up on and like they quit early. I said that, but now when thinking about it, I honestly think it was when I got accepted on a roulette. I was coming from this team that was nowhere near diamond, and I did not like it. Red would just send me a message and said, "Go say hi to your new team. You're in." And I was like, "Oh, I'm really nervous." I don't know why I was nervous, but I was just like, "Okay, sure." But yeah, I mean, so that was probably one of the best War Dragons moments.